streaming. So are we live? That's the question.
You have to open OBS to do that. To go
What do you
live.
mean? I did. I just did.
You did?
Yeah, I
Okay.
literally just did.
Let me check your channel. Doesn't say you're live. Oh wait, now it does. Yep, it just came up. I see it. Fantastic. Now, what you want to do is go to your open up Discord, and then view my live, and then share my screen.
Oh yeah, is my stream? Am I sharing my stream on Discord? Yeah, I am. All right, cool.
You're sharing
Wait.
yours, and I'm also sharing mine. Yep.
All right, cool. So I'll just say what I was talking about before, like this whole area of resistance at 90K that we held as resistance for, basically since December 15th. So for 3+ weeks now, more than 3 weeks, that was acting as an area of resistance or an area of supply. Yeah.
Yep.
It's coming back to that level to retest it, and at the same time, so I mean that theoretically it was support over here too. So theoretically, I'm thinking that it should act as support, or it has a chance of acting as support, because you've also got the 618 level here. Like I've just drawn a fib from this level to the high that we made, and conveniently this area, this zone of resistance or previous resistance conveniently just rests right between the 0.5 and the 618. And then I think I was looking at, I don't know if it was the 1 hour or the 4 hour, there was some sort of moving average or something. I think it was like just this 200 EMA that also happens to be there, and we got this golden cross on the day we were ripping. We got the golden cross, and then we rallied, causing the golden cross, and then we fell back into it. So a lot of times it just, after the golden cross occurs, like when on a time frame like the 1 hour, the 4 hour, after the golden cross, even on the daily, after the golden cross occurs, that's usually closer to the top of the move. It's because the price went up, like since it's sort of a lagging indicator or whatever. Because the price went up, that's what caused the cross to happen. So oftentimes what happens right afterwards is that the price will actually fall back into the golden cross and then try to hold support on top of it, and then that is what gives you your that's what gives you your like either confirmation or shows you like is the trend actually going to continue up, like is this golden cross legitimate, like is the because we've come back and tested it, is that going to hold, or is it going to fall through it? And if it falls through it, like, okay, it didn't have enough legs, like there wasn't enough demand to step in to actually support the trend continuation. But we had this uptrend here. We still technically have an uptrend, if you ask me, like as long as it holds this area of previous resistance as support. If it doesn't, we have a lot of people that are suggesting that it goes back to the bottom of the range or back to the bottom of this channel or whatever. So this is kind of a point where I think that we have to pay attention and stuff and look out for, especially since it's the 618 and it's right about, it's already lost the 0.5 area of that zone, like just the way that I have the fib drawn. But I mean, if I was to extend this, like maybe it hasn't really technically lost it yet, like a 0.5, depending on where you draw it from. I just had it drawn from right here, so it seemed like multiple different confluences, like this whole area between the 0.5 and 618, as we know, like is like typically an area of interest. But I don't know how many other people actually have their fib drawn the same way that I do. You know what I'm saying?
Look at me.
It kind of is partially dependent on what other traders are doing. Like, do they have the fib drawn the same way? Are they going to trade based off of that? Whatever. So there's so many dynamics that go into it. I just thought it was interesting how this zone of resistance matches up perfectly with where the
look at me.
It's right between the 0.5 and 618. So that's just what I wanted to point out. How do I mute all my alerts, because they're gonna get annoying if I have to.
I didn't hear it. If you're worried about it, I didn't hear it go off or anything.
Oh, so you didn't hear my alerts? Usually when people are
No.
watching my stream, they say that they hear the alerts going off. So I don't know if you.
I don't know. I have your probably because I have your thing muted. I have your stream muted in
Are you just
Discord.
watching me on YouTube, or are you watching my actual
No, I'm
Discord
watching you
stream?
on Discord. I've just got this. I've just got it muted.
Oh, you have my Discord stream muted.
Am
Yeah,
I
that's
watching?
probably why.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, whatever. I guess we'll
It
leave
would
it
be
for
a
now.
way. Yeah, it's no big deal. Yep.
The point of control
cool.
for this fixed range volume profile is this yellow line, which is all the way down here, and it's somewhere like around 87.8, which is, right around where this sort of trend line meets, like these 2 points that I've connected here. It meets that trend line there. So if we were to go down like that far, that fast, then I'm thinking maybe we catch like something of a bit there. Like if it just falls right through all this, then I would think we would catch
We're under
something of a
90.
bit there.
We just got through 90 now, by the way.
Yeah, we just dropped below 90K. So, all right, well, there's that. I'm gonna look to see if there's any vector. So we did leave it. We did just leave a vector zone behind on the 1 hour, and then I'll just go to the 15-minute to see how many liquidations there were and how many got taken out. There wasn't too many liquidations, but if you look here, there's a ton of liquidations to the upside. So, and they're not just like 50x, they're like 100x, like most of them it looks like. So it looks like there's some gas to the upside. So I could see like a real case to be made that we could bounce somewhere in this area, or at least see some consolidation, and then go for a move back up to clear, even if it's just to clear these liquidations. But I don't know. Aside from that, we got to see some buyers step in. We already lost like this zone of consolidation here essentially, but I'm counting on this area to sort of provide something. If not, then yeah, I mean, I guess the next logical place that I would see someone try to catch a bid would be the bottom, this trend line and the point of control of the fixed range volume profile. Then maybe we can start working on some sort of reversal pattern or whatever. Like D Block was saying, like that we're supposed to be
Look at me.
3 day down. See, so like the alert just went out. Did you hear that? That time?
No, I've got it muted, remember?
Oh, you still gotta mute it? Alright, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, D Block was saying like, yeah, we're in the middle of a 3 day down. By the way, if anybody's listening, go check out D Block's channel, Crypto Cipher by D Block. He does some great stuff, and he's got a 24-hour live stream. He's an excellent trader.
I'll check if anyone's watching your stream. Remember, I think you might have forgot to share it too.
Yeah, I mean,
link to your stream and share it in your Discord. Try doing that.
Yeah, how do I
Look at me.
Share, copy, and then I'll put it in the server. Alright, so
yeah, I
we
would
got
delete that one that
I'll
didn't
just
work.
delete this. And then I'll put it in general chat as well.
Then it'll, yeah, that definitely worked because now it's got a thumbnail. I would delete the one that didn't.
Yeah, I got that. I deleted that one.
Perfect. Yep.
All right. So anyway, that's pretty much my take. Yeah, like I was saying, D-Block said we're supposed to be in a 3 day down. I don't know what. I sort of missed how he explained how the weekend trap was supposed to be set up this week, which is also something I follow, but this one was clearly weird or different from the others, so I don't exactly know the nature of how it exited the weekend trap, because I wasn't really there to witness it, but because like it looks like it would be in this area Saturday, Sunday. So if there was a false move up on Monday out of the trap, then we should have a 3 day down, and then a midweek reversal, and then a recovery after that for the next 2 days. And then on Friday we should set our trap highs, and then or trapped longs and trap shorts, whatever. That's his whole theory. I mean, I know how it works and everything, but it's like in terms of like explaining it all right now, it's kind of redundant at the moment. I'm just kind of looking at these levels and where they could potentially hold. But according to his theory, or his method, I should say, there's what has it been? What's today? Wednesday. So we would be going down for, I don't know if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But it would be a right around about that time where we would see something of like a midweek reversal. I'm gonna have to actually go in there and talk to him about it too, because I haven't been in there to say what's up to him for a couple of days, because everything's just been so hectic. But it looks like we took out a lot of these liquidations to the downside, and it looks like we're building up a lot more of them to the upside. So if I just turn off these the filled levels, like the dead bodies, I just go hide filled levels. So those are people that all already got liquidated, and then it should, yep, so they disappeared. So see how there's not too much more liquidity down here? At least the leverage isn't as high. There might be a higher dollar amount in terms of liquidations here, but the leverage is not as high, at least, which the higher leverage is usually the easier target. So, but you got a ton of high leverage stacked up above you. So I mean, all of this short leverage above that's on like 100x or 50x, like I think that could become a target. So if we do end up catching a bid here, I would think it would aggressively sweep up to go get those liquidations, even if it results in the double top or something, or like a lower high. You know, but even if people have been short in here, so I don't know, maybe it's a relative equal high, who knows. But I would think that we would try to see Bitcoin start to try to catch some sort of a bid here, and then if you're looking to enter a new short position, you could get a nice bounce for a better entry. Or if you're looking to go long, you know, I don't know, maybe try your luck in this area with a close stop loss, like a tight stop loss, you know, below the 618 or whatever, and just see what kind of candles get printed. This looks like it could be a stopping volume candle that's printing on the 15-minute right now. Speaking of which, I might actually attempt to open a long position myself if this candle closes like this, because that would mean we increase our chances. The RSI is oversold, but there's no bullish divergence. MACD looks like it's kind of going to flip. Yeah, the oscillators aren't really saying too many good things, but like I said, let's see what the candle. This candle's only halfway done, so I'm gonna let it mature a little bit before I personally make any decisions. But I mean, that's what I got. I think there's a strong case to be made. We could see a bit of a bounce from here, especially since sentiment is getting a little bit better, and maybe there's people that want to see a higher low form. I don't know, but that's my take on it for like the immediate short-term price action, I guess. So I'll throw it over to you, Rick, if you want to. Just if you want to bring up your screen,
Sure.
and we'll see what you got going on.
Yep.
If there's anything you want to share, I'll make you full
Let me
screen as
know
soon as my
when,
computer. Yeah, as soon as my computer stops freaking out.
Damn, boom shakalaka, man. Look at my chart.
Oh,
What's up,
Damn.
Bitbuy? Bitbuy,
So-
we're doing a live video. If you want to be part of it, you can do some of your TA. But I was about to I just did some quick short-term TA and like let the I did some
Yeah, I'll
short-term
keep
TA
mine
and
brief.
stuff in the.
I don't know.
All
My
right.
TA was pretty spot on. I'll just say that.
Yeah, he did. He took a short. So just so anyone that's watching the video, he took a short right here. Well, I mean, I think he's been shorting for a while, but I
I've been
think
short for a while. This is the point of control where I was telling you guys we lose this, it's down. And it'd be down straight down here to 89,792 is my buy order or my sell order.
what time? That's the 1 hour. Okay,
Nice.
so you're looking for
Yeah.
wait, not 90. You already take profit, or
Oh yeah, I just took profit right
Alright,
at that red line. And I
so
took a long.
you closed your trade. All right, so you went long. All right, cool. I'm thinking about
Yeah.
going long too. So
Yeah.
Um,
So
Nice.
I'm gonna jump off your screen because they're showing stuff on your exchange.
oh shit, my bad.
Well, I just want your privacy to be. I want you to
Yeah.
have your privacy. But he's just got his trading view up, so he has if he wants to give any technical analysis, go for it, Rick. I'll put you on full screen, and then I'll let you have at it.
All good.
All right, you're on there.
All right. Cool. So, just 1 second. I was looking at vector candles because you mentioned that, and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's any local vector candle recoveries that need to be underway, and it's like, nah, there's nothing really on the daily or the 4 hour.
There's some
Like
sort
all
of,
the vectors have been dealt with. I feel there's nothing that's standing out really.
I don't know if they use a different calculation or whatever, like, or like they use a different model for the PVSRA or something. But for some reason, when you look up the indicator that's just called vector candles and it only puts vector candles on the chart, for some reason it like misses a few of them and it doesn't have like the vector zone. So I just use the TR main, like Trader's Reality one, and I, like, if I want to see just the vectors, I just shut everything off except for the vector candles.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
that's what seems to work best for me. I mean, obviously you can do whatever you want, but that just seems to, like, I like that look and setup better than, because I tried to use just the regular vector candles and I was like, ah, this sucks. But yeah, anyway,
Alrighty.
go for it.
So I'll just hide them because it's not really. I never really talk about vectors anyway, but from a pretty basic situation here is there's no question. I think everyone's aware that it's been pulling back. So with the natural rhythm of the market, you can find, if you're a pattern kind of trader like I am, and you're following trend lines, you've definitely got some kind of a falling structure, falling wedge, perhaps. It kind of looks like that. I haven't drawn it in yet, but there's no doubt a trend line here that price seems to be reacting off fairly uniformly, if that's a word. Like they seem to be all pretty, apart from that one candle there, perhaps. But yeah, it looks like Bitcoin's in a falling wedge, which is a bullish continuation pattern for the fact that we've been uptrending here into it. So the textbook outcome is going back up. So I agree with you both, saying that going long here would be a pretty good idea. I think it's a really decent long actually, because you've got
It's great long.
yeah, like your stop loss. If you're wrong,
Your
you don't
stop loss
have to
is tight.
suffer much.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A pretty cheap entry, as in if you're wrong, you're not spending hundreds or whatever level of money you're working with. You're not spending a lot of percent to be
Risk to reward.
invalidated. Exactly. So, um, I'm just seeing if there's any other like structural reason as to why it's pulling up here. I think it's just honestly it's just hanging on because it's at the 90K level, which is like a big psychological level, you know. And it's causing it to react. Um, the fact that it got underneath it technically may have caused people to panic a little or even go short, and it just looks like the price ain't ready to do that.
The good old panic
Definitely
short.
some
That's my favorite
support.
thing to trade against.
Yeah, right. Yeah, people like, okay, yes, technically it got below 90, and maybe people were like, oh, no, it's going down. And then they jump into shorts. Yeah. The candle, I think this candle is important. We're on the hourly chart, by the way, if you're watching it. It's only a fresh candle. It's only like 4 minutes in, or 14 rather. So, but yeah, this is what I would be tracking. The way this that I've drawn this support is actually not how it would have been. It would have been more something like that. But now that we've got this new information, it's actually fallen out the bottom side of uh, this wedge here. I know this is super basic tier. This has got nothing to do with like smart money concepts or liquidity or anything like that. This is just basics. This is just trend lines. But I still think that there's power in that. There's still reason to track that kind of stuff because a lot of people do. A lot of people do trade to trend lines and supports and resistances and all the classic TA stuff. But yeah, so from here it's like, okay, does it hold? Does it sink or swim? And Are we going to get access back into the wedge and then break out and then, shoot for the stars, or at least go back up? So on a bigger picture, by the way, I was tracking this whole structure. You can see I've faded it to gray, but this was my primary trend line at the time. So it looked something more like this. It's probably getting a bit busy. Let me just turn off some of these lines so you can see it better. But instead, I'm not as such working with this, so you can see it. This was based off this action here. So this triple hit right here. So I still have it there. It's still relevant. I'm not going to delete the line, but it's not my prime line. My prime is now this. Like I'm working off the fact that that was resistance and this is resistance, and now we've had this third incident, or this third point of pivot. So that to me feels more relevant than
So you kind of got like an ascending triangle over
exactly.
An ascending triangle type thing.
Yep. So now I've seen various textbook definitions of what that's supposed to mean. Like after a downtrend, if it finds itself in an ascending triangle like this, I've seen a textbook diagram showing that it breaks to the upside, that it reverses the price. But yeah, it's not a common one, because usually in a downtrend you get a descending triangle. It goes more like that.
Yeah.
Usually, because it beats up on the support and then breaks.
My kind of take on it is that it's okay. So like an ascending channel, an ascending triangle is a little bit ambiguous, because I think you have to add some context to it. Like I feel like it's one of those patterns where if the point of origin is an uptrend, so like if it comes from an uptrend initially and then it starts to form an ascending triangle, I see it as like a bullish continuation pattern. As long as it breaks out, it should continue. Now if the point of origin is a downtrend, which this one started from a downtrend like initially, then it kind of has a bit more of a bearish bias to it, because it came from a downtrend, and like the pattern formed after a downtrend initially, you know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
And then the same thing with descending triangles. Like I don't know if it's really a continuation pattern or a reversal pattern. Like it's got to be considered one of the two, but I feel like it has a slight bias towards the side of origin.
Right. So what I think the more important factor here is not nitpicking whether it's a flag or a triangle or a wedge or anything like that. The point is that how did we get to it? We came down into it like this. And what are we doing here? We've done some kind of, Bitcoin's put the brakes on, or it's trying to, and it's done some kind of consolidation. So those are the two sort of factors that every analysis is working with. We went down and we went sort of sideways. We've grinded at a level. Let's just call it 90K. We kind of grinded, basically cheaper, or what would you call it, discounted and premium around 90,000. And that's pretty much where everyone's at. And we haven't left this consolidation in any big way yet. So I still think that the bear flag theory, like that we're in a flag, some people might have it as a triangle, like I'm suggesting, like that, or I think, and there were some people calling this more something like that, like it was a wedge, but this breakout here.
That was invalid.
Yeah,
that was already invalid a while ago.
Yeah, so that kind of idea has
wedge
been squashed.
There's a rising wedge.
Oh, the rising wedge.
I think
there was a rising wedge
more
here.
Of a symmetrical triangle that kind of formed, that it looks like it kind of broke out of. Because like it came from a wedge, and then it freaking formed a triangle, and then like a symmetrical triangle, and then now it's sort of an ascending triangle.
So see this angled line here. I'll just do this to make it stand out. That was producing support initially, but then you got the breakdown, and then it's been butting up against it and unable to gain access back up on top. And even right now, like even the most recent attempt got rejected for now. So we are below this line. And that was part of like a rising wedge structure. So technically, yeah, it did break down, but it hasn't really done a whole lot, has it? We're still range bound. We're still in basically this range.
Yeah, is it getting
so
too
nothing-
long to still be considered a bear flag? Like, because it does have that sort of
Um,
sideways look.
Yeah, I mean, if you jump out to the daily chart, or even the weekly.
I mean, I'm
seeing
just
if
wondering
it
at what
still
at one
looks-
point does like is
Yeah.
because I feel like instead of like I feel like instead of it being a level on a
Flag?
chart, it's more like a time. Like if it just goes sideways for too long, then it's not really a bear flag anymore. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yep. So I don't know what the rules are with that. Like, I'd probably have to brush up on the Investopedia article about bear flags. If there's a consensus on how long a flag's supposed to last or when it becomes invalidated. Some people do the like touch counts.
The
I don't
three
bother with
touch
any of
rule,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't bother with any of that. I just go, well, this ain't a bull flag. See this channel that came down? It's way too sharp. It went for too long, and you've broken like structures, that sent it up there. So that's definitely not a flag.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
broke
a
several
falling
structures there.
channel. Yeah. So that channel actually broke bullish because it came out the top edge of it, right? And now
Yeah, it
it's
did
like,
break that
oh,
trend line.
we're working on perhaps trying to fight our way back up, which could totally happen. So the Bears haven't won yet, and the Bulls haven't won yet. So we're still in limbo. This is still in limbo, in my opinion. We're still
but-
pending,
I bet you
And it
even
could
if it
take
comes
longer.
I bet you even if
Yep.
it comes to completely sweep the bottom of the range again, watch it turn into like a massive like inverse Bart Simpson, like an upside down Bart Simpson.
Good. Yeah. I mean, look what happened here. We had a range here, and I bet you all the Bears were thinking, oh yeah, look at that bear flag there. Oh yeah, it's breaking down. It's all over. And then bam, huge pivot, and it didn't take long to like completely silence all that noise. So yep, Bitcoin's done that kind of thing before, where it's looked terrible or shocking, and then completely reversed it. The cool thing was with this one is that this gave you a really nice falling wedge, and it just broke out so textbook. That was a really easy one. And same with this. This was a beautiful fat. People call it the bull flag of 2024. I think the way we were looking at it at the time, we were sort of calling it a falling megaphone or something, like a descending megaphone. But anyway, it's the same shit.
Well, just
It's the
back
same
to some
result.
just back to
Yep,
some sort of
more local.
more local stuff. Is this so like what session is up right now? We've got Asia, right? Like it's at the end of Asia.
Yeah.
So they're finishing up. They swept all those liquidations from the long side. So now I guess maybe it's UK. The UK session comes in like
U.S.
what, a
breaks
half
already
hour?
happened. Probably a half hour.
yeah. So like a half hour from now, EU UK session is gonna come in, and I bet you their job is gonna be to go take care of all these liquidations up above, all these short
Or-
liquidations.
We're 5 hours into Hong Kong right now, and we're coming back up. We're probably going to retest this back up at 9,650 again.
90,600 or
Yeah, basically where we dropped or the vector. Now we have a vector candle recovery possibly happening in this hour.
Oh, it's on
There's-
the hourly. Okay, so let me look at the hour. Yeah,
Oh,
okay, so
yeah.
where that candle
Yeah,
started, you're
it's
looking
not
for
correct.
a recovery of that.
for recovery. Maybe possibly within the next 3 hours. If it doesn't happen in 3 hours, I'm going to bed.
Are you gonna
And
close your
also check
position, or are
this
you just
guy
gonna
out.
leave it?
What's that?
Are you gonna close your
I'll leave
position, or
it.
are you just gonna leave it? Oh, okay.
I'll leave it. Yeah, my stop loss is set. I'm just kind of staying up and see what it's doing real quick, and then I'm going to slide it up as it goes up. At least I wake up, I'm either in profit or I'm already took profit. So there's no loss.
Yeah.
Sweet. There you
There's
go.
a bit of a vector gap here too.
I'm
all the way
up
to
about
anyway.
92%. 92% on the week so far.
Anyone that's hearing this,
Fine.
if it's whether it's right now or whether it's in the future, that's what good trading habits look like. So get in the habit of building habits like that, like, you know, sliding up your stop loss when you're in the profit, like especially if you're going to go to sleep, especially if you're on a leverage position, like you don't want to give back any of the gains that you've already gotten. It's not yours until you take it. Like you have to realize that gain. Like unrealized gains are great, and if you want to let a position run, awesome, but also just, you know, remember that unrealized gains, they aren't really yours until you actually hit the take profit button. So he was talking about dragging it, he's already in the profit, so if he's planning on going to sleep, he's just going to drag his stop loss into the profit, or even if the price goes up significantly, he'll continue to move his stop loss up further into the profit, so that if the price does come down and reverse sharply, he won't get back as many gains as he would have if he round tripped the position.
So I'm in a 15x leverage right now. Already up 5%, so I'm already at a stop loss is literally at my entry level right now. I've already slid it up.
Sweet. Do you have any like other more in-depth TA you want to give BitBuy or
Not yet. Let me
okay, cool.
let me get some let me get some weed in my system.
You've got
Alright,
3
cool.
people watching your live, by the way.
Oh hell yeah. What's up, guys?
Someone in the
Thanks for
comments said AC. So
That's-
ACU5 BTC says yo.
That's my OG account.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, there you go.
I got some content on there if you guys subscribe to me on there. It's just some like off-roading and then some stuff from Havasu.
Yeah, everybody go subscribe to his channel. And also check out wait, what is it called again?
ACU5 BTC.
ACU5
Stands for Assault Crafting at 5 Bitcoin.
Alright, let me go to YouTube.
You know when you first started like a username and you don't like expect it to get anywhere? Yeah, it's kind of like what that.
ACU.
So-
Oh yeah, just so everyone's aware, this is the stream I was talking about earlier. Crypto Cypher live stream by D-Block. But so what was it? AC5
ACU5 BTC. It's right there in the chat on the YouTube.
ACU5
I put yo.
BTC. King of the Hammers. ACU. Does it have Hank Hill as the?
Yeah, you like that?
Yep.
yeah, that's freaking awesome, dude. So everybody go subscribe to this channel, ACU5 BTC. We got
And now
Bit
you've
by
got
Bit in the chat. That's him. So make sure.
Ori Esposito commented as well.
And then what do we got? Well, I'll just type it in. Shit, crypto down under. And this is Rick's channel. So everybody make sure you go subscribe to Rick's channel. I'm already subscribed, obviously. But yeah, Crypto Down Under. You can find him doing live streams and giving technical analysis as well. Yeah, whenever we're not online, if he decides to come up and do a live stream, like, it's always good fun to, you know, listen to him give his analysis and what he thinks of the market.
Yeah, it's like couple times a month, or if something exciting's worth talking about, I'll go live on there. Yep.
Cool. So, anyway, yeah, let me go back to your screen, Rick. Sorry for interrupting you there.
Oh, that's all right. Not a problem. I pretty
if you
much
get it.
covered what I was gonna talk about anyway, so it's all good. All I was gonna do is go a little bit further out, like zoom out on the macro and talk about that just very quickly, if you want. But
Yeah, sure. I just wanted, real quick before you do that, I just wanted to mention on my chart real quick some stuff, some micro stuff that's happening. So we've got this vector recovery happening on the 1 hour, like BitBuy was saying. But going to the 15-minute, we had this stopping volume candle in the 15-minute. and now it looks like we formed a bullish engulfing candle, so that's sort of like the confirmation signal, like to go long. You also kind of want, if you want extra confirmation, then you could wait for, so these two moving averages here, the 5 and 13, like you could wait for them to get back above the 50 EMA, which is this blue one, for confirmation. That confirms bullish momentum. But I mean, I saw enough to make me say, okay, that's all right. I'm just gonna go long here. So I went long at the close of this candle here. So I went long right about 90K, a little bit above it, maybe a little bit below it. I forget the exact entry, but it was right around there.
What was your leverage?
So I'm on 50x, but I'm not using that much money, so
There you go.
I'm just taking a swing at it. But yeah, we did get above the 50 EMA on the 1 minute. So if you go all the way down to the 1 minute, it kind of have like this nice V-shaped recovery going on. We're back above the 50. So I think if it comes back to retest it, then I might, if it holds it, then I might see that as another opportunity to add to my position if I want to. And then I would watch out for that 200 and see if there's any retests in high or low. Like hopefully so, because I'm in a long. So I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of like the micro level stuff. It does look like it's sort of bouncing and recovering. So we caught a bid. We caught a bid right here, just below 90K, around 89.6.
We got a lot of orders we need to chop through here, Ray. It's going to be chilling right here.
So what do you think? It's just going to go sideways here for a while, or you think they're going to try to farm long liquidations and then try to stab through with like a lower low, like a slightly lower low for a swing fail pattern and then reverse, or what do you think?
Right now we got a new 30-minute. So 30 minutes showing up. Yeah, the new 30 minutes coming up. I think it's going to stay sideways. We're going to come back down that last. If you look at the vector candle, it's actually blue on the 30-minute.
Mine's showing green. It says on the 1 hour that it's blue, I believe. Yeah, the 1 hour has a blue for me, but then the 30-minute says it's green.
Yeah, I'm using Coinbase. So who are you? What?
I'm on Binance Tether Perpetuals contracts.
Yeah, I'm grabbing Coinbase. It's more accurate when it comes to the combination of the top 5. So I'm just doing on that. So I get more of my read on there. So, but they left some liquidity down to the lower side, but I don't think it's going to go back down to where wick, but we might hit the new structure back there, or they might just leave it for some liquidity for later on when they come back down. Maybe a retest of 91.8 and then a rejection, and then come back down and stab down for a retest of 90K again.
Well, do you think that it would reclaim this whole vector candle on the 30-minute, or do you think it would just come down to like...
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen within this 30-minute.
All right. So were you saying 89.9? Did you say that before, or what your target is, or what was the number?
91.8.
Oh, 91.8. All right, so that's not really... Oh, you're looking to go up and retest 91.8.
Correct.
91,800.
Yeah, that's where I'm closing my trade out. Well, starting to close my trade out.
All right, yeah, that's right about the 200 EMA on the 30-minute is like right there, so I can see some confluence in that. Alright, cool stuff. Yeah, I'm just wondering if it's going to try to fill this vector candle first, or if we're just going to V-shape the rest of the way, because if we do that, I'm not really going to have much of an opportunity to add to my position, but it was a little underweight, but I think it'll be okay if I just leave it open. So yeah, we're already digging into these liquidations on the 1 minute. Let's see if we can hold it, but then they're also farming and building up long liquidity down here.
Exactly. So that's why I say a retouch down at 89,820. I'm looking at your chart now.
Yeah, 89.8. Yeah, so that's like about here. So you don't think that it would be... Hold on, let me just get rid of this. So you don't think that it would be coming to stab through all this and then bounce, and then maybe we put in like a bull div on the RSI or something? Or like...
Anything's possible, man. Anything's possible.
Yeah,
I mean, the more we talk about it, the more we might change our mind. So I'm kind of just sticking to my mind right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we just go to sweep sort of this, and then we come back for that once more of it's built up, bull div, and then we reverse maybe. But if it just takes off without me and I don't have a position, then shit. But I can always, if it goes lower, I can try to add to it and then just keep my stop loss tighter after
Hey,
adding. But
you sleep?
yeah, sometimes, once in a while, once in a great while, I sleep. I actually slept a lot today, so I'm not really. I'm more tired than I feel like I should be, but
It looks like we might get that run after all. It's the first 5 minutes in this 30. Normally we get the direction called.
and it's green so far. All right, so that's cool. All right, well, now that we've covered sort of the short-term targets and stuff, I can let Rick do. I'm looking at this trend line too right here. If this trend line doesn't break and we have that
Up and sideways.
that volume,
You guys can cover
let's say.
the more immediate stuff. I feel like I've done the higher time frames to death on a lot of stream. We've talked about it so often, so it's like, yeah, it's all good. I think the fact that we've pulled back off the all-time high and that we're getting some consolidation, that's pretty much all you have to know. It's like we're just tracking whether we break higher or break lower, and we just don't have the outcome yet. We just
Well,
don't
check
know yet.
check.
That's
I think check the Japanese yen USD. See what's going on over there too right now.
Yeah, I'll check that.
It's the end of their market.
JPY USD.
GPY USD. I don't know why. Hold on. Do I
You
need
got
to
it down
click-
there.
Do I need to click Forex?
Yep.
Where the, okay, Forex.
FX
and
and C. FX, right there, FX CM. That's Swiss franc.
US dollar, Canadian dollar.
Top one, the very top one, you got it. US dollar,
Ice.
Japanese yen.
Yeah, but how do I make it so that it's the yen versus the dollar instead of the dollar versus the yen?
It's the same. It's the same shit.
But it's backwards.
Yeah,
it's
pretty much
upside
the
down.
same thing.
All right. Well, we'll just go with this one first, and then see how that looks. All right. So this would mean that the dollar is gaining on the yen, or well, this, like, the move down means the yen is gaining on the dollar. The move up means the dollar is gaining on the yen.
Go to a higher time frame. You're on the minute, bro.
All right. So what are we looking at here? I'll go to
Go to the
1 hour.
4 hour or to the daily, actually.
Yeah, daily's probably the best.
Even the monthly really makes a lot of sense on these normally, but
So the
So the
dollar
yen-
has been strengthening against the yen.
Yeah, the dollar's been
you're on the
going
dollar
up against
versus
the
yen.
yen this whole time.
Yeah.
So it's moving. It's definitely moving against the yen. But on the if we're trying to look at sort of like the intra-day sort of range, I guess. When did this session start? Nope, that's too far. It would be 1-7 at. What was it, 7 or 8 o'clock? So it basically from here, like from here over. It's the range that we've been working with during this current session. So it kind of looks like we had. It kind of looks like the yen had or the dollar had a drop against the yen. And then I don't know, maybe it's working on some sort of higher low pattern there, where it can sort of pick up. But what is your what's your take on like how the effect of the dollar versus yen? What kind of impact does that have? Like immediate impact does it have on the on Bitcoin? Do you think bit by bit?
I don't know. It's
Well,
just always interesting. Check it out. Sometimes interest rates. When I take precaution out there. So like when they lower their interest rates, or Bitcoin normally takes off. So and the dollar normally takes off, and then whenever the dollar starts going down, you'll see Bitcoin actually start going down as well.
so they take
Some
profit into the dollar, and then when the dollar, well, then maybe they put it in yen instead of the dollar.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not really a forex trader, but there's a little correlation that goes on with interest rates cuts on Japan. So if you find the interest rate cut dates and then you correlate it with Bitcoin and the Japanese yen against the dollar, I'll do the data for you and give it to you. I'm a little stoned.
Range JPY. All right. So how do I find interest rates for Japan though? Because BOJ.
Or maybe go on Forex Factory.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can find it on Forex Factory. I'm just wondering if there's an indicator on TradingView that shows it. I seriously
Yeah.
doubt it. Like, I just want to see if there was one built in that like showed the actual dates already without me having to go plot it out on my own. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to just check this out on like the daily or whatever, it is coming to a relative equal high in this area, and then I guess we'll be
US
approaching that zone.
US dollar is pretty strong right now. Anyways,
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. It's always a good thing for us, except for that, like, risk assets tend to go down when the US dollar is doing really well. Risk assets tend to go down. Like, if I look at, like, just DXY, I hope this chart's clean enough to read.
so I don't believe Bitcoin is a risk-on asset really as much as it used to be, and we'll get there in the future where it's kind of not.
I mean, I mean, it depends on who you ask, right? Kind of, like, to some degree, like, is it a risk on asset? No, like, it's a high risk, or no, it's very low risk because it's like a flight to safety, or like I see it as a store of value, like, therefore it's a flight to safety. But during this whole time, right? Like, from like May of 2021 all the way to September of late September of 2022, the DXY, like, being the US dollar versus all the other fiat, it was just freaking going parabolic, like, just completely parabolic. Yeah, let me get rid of these lines because they're distracting. But
So we got conflict in Iran right now. Their currency's
Maybe
destabilizing.
I
So
got a
that might-
bounce, but
all right, Rick.
goes to it. Good to stream.
All right,
well
well,
done on
yeah.
your first stream. Glad
Yeah,
we
thank
got
you
there.
for joining. Thank you for helping out with everything.
No
You're a
worries.
big help, man. Appreciate it.
All good. No worries, man. All
I
right.
owe you one.
I'll catch you
I'll
on
have to
the
get you
other
back.
side.
All right, brother. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I'll hope to see you soon.
All right, see you, boys.
Nah, peace out, bro.
See you later, buddy.
So the way I kind of like, so this, what I was saying was, it was going parabolic this whole time. Like, this whole time, it was just freaking skyrocketing. I'm talking about this section here. It was just skyrocketing and go parabolic. Eventually lost that parabola and started to come down and correct and then consolidated. But the reason why I bring it up is because if I add Bitcoin, I'll just use the Coinbase one. So see how once it got past this previous top, like, so we had these previous tops here, and where there was like previous consolidation and resistance here on the US dollar. As soon as it got past that and broke through and started going up, crypto just freaking kept dumping to the downside. It really kind of started, if you look just right here, it kind of started with this sort of
if you see what's
maintaining the 50, and then Bitcoin was going down and dollar was going up from that point.
If you see what's going on, it's a reverse market. So we're always in a bull market. So, you got 4-year, 3-year, 4-year bear market while the dollar's ripping. And if you take a normal Wall Street cycle and then you were to add a normal Wall Street cycle and overlay it all over that and just invert it all, like it all makes sense.
Oh, like the Wall Street cheat sheet thing.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so like either
The flow
Bitcoin's
of
in a bull
it's just the
market or
flow. It's
the
just the
dollar
flow of
is.
money. Yeah, yeah. It's a flow of money.
I mean, sometimes not always the dollar, but it's like either fiat currencies in a bull market or Bitcoin's in a bull market, and then vice versa. Like when Bitcoin or like one is the opposite of the other. So if Bitcoin's in a bear market, fiat is probably in a bull market, and if fiat is coming down or consolidating, then Bitcoin's probably going to go up.
Lending also too. You got to take and consider credit.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's some more. Those are some more like sort of vast concepts with like monetary policy and debt, like debt cycles and shit like that. Which like I've been getting more into that a lot more over the past couple of years, but I haven't. I haven't been like talking about it too much in like recent videos, I guess. But what like because I kind of focus more on charting. But I mean, I do still mention stuff like the, sort of influential stuff that's happening that like could be market impacting.
Yeah.
But I mean, see, even right here in this more immediate price action, you had this low on the DXY, and as you were putting in that low, Bitcoin was forming a higher low, and then Bitcoin broke out, and Bitcoin and DXY were actually running together for a little bit until here, when DXY broke that previous low.
So that was off of
Bitcoin
news.
ran to a new all-time high.
That was off of news with Trump coming into office.
Yeah, well, I mean, this right here, this was when the election happened right here, and then this was the inauguration, was right here. And then the dollar fell after the inauguration. So it came down. It pretty much hit its high. Like the DXY pretty much hit its high right before the inauguration, and then it double topped right after the inauguration. And it's just been coming down ever since. So it's got sort of the same bear flag looking type thing as Bitcoin does, which is interesting. Because if you sort of look at it, like, I mean, it's in a descending channel. Like, I have this big ass channel drawn, but this is like a multi-year channel. But if you kind of look at it like this, actually, hold on, let me just get a different tool to do this, because it's going to be freaking annoying if I try to do it with that. Where is... I hate, like, not being able to find tools. Alright, right here. Alright, so if you just, like, sort of make a shape like this, like, that could be considered a bear flag, on DXY. So it's kind of showing the same type of bear flag setup as Bitcoin is right now, because you've got Bitcoin doing sort of the same thing, just on like sort of a smaller scale, I guess, slightly smaller scale, because this has been forming since April of 2025. So that's a while ago. That's almost that's like 9 months ago or something, 8 months. So I mean, this sort of bigger bear flag, this has been forming for 8 months, whereas really this one has only been forming for 2 months. Maybe 2 or I guess 3 if you want to push it. But I mean, still, like, the point stands that this one's been forming a lot longer. So I don't know if it's like how do you invalidate a bear flag other than breaking structure to the upside and putting in higher lows above the top of the bear flag? Like, I mean, aside from that, I don't really know if is there a point in time where it's just like it gets too long, and you say, because if this just keeps going on and on forever like this, like, how can you really say it's a bear flag anymore?
That's more bullish, because the longer the consolidation, the more likely it is to go up.
Yeah, exactly. It's just because that's more indicative of accumulation rather than oh shit, there's not enough demand anymore, we need to sell. You know, like it seems like it's more so like it's just accumulating and building up for the next move up than rather than um, consolidating before next move down. You know, usually if there's going to be another move like a continuation of the downside, usually it does it like fairly soon. But I mean, if we go back in time to where this bear flag happened on BTC, I mean the flag part of it itself was 71 days, so that's like like let's just say 2.5 months that it was forming this bear flag before it finally ended up breaking down. Like, because I mean, you could argue that the top of it it began right here, or you know, it ended here, it ended here. Like, it's only a matter of probably like a few days or a week, but the general idea is like, if I take the date range, let's just say it starts from here and then it goes all the way to here where like it eventually broke down. That's 119 days. So that's 4 months. So I mean, it could be upwards of 4 months that we see Bitcoin having to sit in this consolidation. So if we extrapolate that, sort of like take it from here, then it could be like March before we see Bitcoin make a decision on whether it's going to continue down or if it's going to go up. So I mean, that's like, you know, I guess you kind of got to have patience in that aspect. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think what we have to just accept as a reality is that we don't have the answers.
We're minutes away from getting that vector recovery.
Oh yeah, let me jump back on the Bitcoin chart. All right, cool. So that's showing some progress. I guess I didn't really have time, a chance to add to my position, but it's okay. It's fine the way it is. We'll see if this 50 EMA on the 5 provides any resistance. 200 on the 1 minute. So what I'm kind of looking for at the moment is if it can't get through this on the first go and it just, you know, has a move down, I want to see if it's able to maintain this 50 EMA on the 1 minute. And if it's not, then I'm going to be looking for these lower prices. But there's also not too many, like if there was way more liquidations stacked up, like if there was a ton of licks stacked up, like right here, right here, right here.
There's that shit.
Yeah, there's a big gap in the middle. So, and we also have this high volume node that's kind of like
there's more value to the upside.
Yeah, like if you're going by cost benefit analysis, I'd say it's definitely more likely to go up. Because then you look at the 15 minute. Look at all this, dude. Like how would there not be incentive to go up, especially if we say we get up this far to like 91, even if we reject, if we put in a higher low and go attack it again and get above it, bam, like it's just gonna eat all these liquidation. Like, so say if I zoom in a little bit, say we do see a rejection here initially at this trend line. Well, more people are probably going to try to short that, the people that didn't get in before. So they'll just stack up more short liquidations and they'll farm more short liquidity, you know, until they feel like they have enough gas to get through it. And then when they finally do, if we come down and put in a higher low somewhere around here, with like it could be wherever, like it could be here, it could be, you know, down here or something like that. But when we attack it again, like two benefits come with that. One is that, well, firstly, we'd be coming off a higher low. The second would be this trend line right here. On the second attempt to attack that trend line and break through it, it's going to be at a lower price than it is right now. So if you sort of look, and this is how I'd love to, you know, sort of look at trend lines and justify where I think it could break, where it has a better chance of breaking out or not, is just like say it attempts it right here and it doesn't break through. Well, when it attempts it the second time, it's going to be at a lower price, like $140 lower. Not too much lower, but still lower than it was up here when it first attempted. So I think that lower price is going to be easier to get through because people that are looking to play the breakout trade, it's cheaper for them to get the same position size if it's $140 lower in price. The other benefit is if it rejects here and people do go short and they decide not to close their positions because they're waiting for like a lower low, let's say, which they could be right, but if they don't ever get a lower low and they get here, then and they hold their positions thinking, oh, it's just going to consolidate and then fall, well, that's going to stack up short liquidity here, and it'll probably stack up more inside of this, like underneath this trend line, right? So that'll give us the gas to push up to the trend line. More people go short here, so we're stacking up more and more liquidations. Eventually it will just bust through, and then if it finds support on top of it, it'll probably, I'd say it's likely to go at, like, you know, attempt like a short squeeze type looking scenario where we just go and like swiftly go to grab all this liquidity. So these kind of trade setups, it's like I need to be in quick because if I miss it, it's gone, and like it just, the trade went without me. And then as soon as it comes to sweep all these liquidations, I'm sure that there will be a move down or like some consolidation. Then I don't know, maybe we hold a higher low. Like, you know, I try not to go too far into the future because it's kind of a fool's errand, but that's what I see as a likely scenario. I guess let's just say that. So, sweeping liquidations to the upside, like you said, it was. It seems like it's much more profitable to go up, like due to the cost-benefit analysis. But let's see if we can first just get through the 200 on the 1 minute. If it doesn't, let's see if we can hold the 50. If it holds the 50, great. Then we've got some ammo to push us up. But it looks like more people are starting to aggressively go long here, and FOMO wins, so that's not good, but we shall see. Oh, just trying to break above the 200. This is like its third attempt now. See if this candle closes above it.
Let's go.
Dude, I was talking to somebody the other day. He came in and was like, "Hey, I've got a question on the chart here," and he's like, he was already actively in a short position, and the price was falling, and he was like, "So how low do you think it's gonna drop?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, I guess I would sort of target this area, blah blah blah." And like as I'm saying that, the price just starts ripping. Like it gave like a 1 hour bearish engulfing, and then like the price just started going to like recover that whole candle. And he's like, "Man, what is BTC doing?" He's like, "Why is it ripping like that?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm like, honestly, like I'm like, sometimes there's not a reason. Sometimes it's just people just feel like they want to buy it, and it just goes up, and then other people see it going up and they want to buy it, and it goes up higher. Like, you know, it's just sometimes it's just FOMO. I'm like, there might have been some sort of news event or whatever. I'm like, but oftentimes like the news events that really matter the most, like people have already bought like a week ago or a month ago, and when the news actually gets released, that's when they sell. They just sell the news. Like they buy the rumor and sell the news. I'm like, some people have insider information. They get in earlier than others, and you know they're able, when the news actually comes out, those people sell because they've already been in for so long, and if their trade has matured. Like, so they kind of, if you're not targeting a specific price and you're targeting a specific event and you're planning on selling that event, then that's your criteria to close the trade, you know?
You. The basics.
Dude, I can't believe there's still so many people out there that don't know the whole rule of like buy the rumor, sell the news, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna wait and be patient." Like even like experienced traders will be like, "I'm just gonna wait and be patient, wait for the news to come out, and then you know once I get confirmation, I'll trade based off that." It's like, dude, you're missing the whole trade by waiting. I'm like, you could just enter the trade by buying the rumor and then use good risk management, you know, in case the trade goes too far south or you have to try to like get out and reposition somewhere else. You know, you could do that, or you could just wait until the move tops out and then decide, hey, I'm gonna go long. Like I don't understand people like that. like people that they are supposed to be experienced traders are like, no, I'm just gonna wait to see what happens with the news. It's like, bro, okay, yeah, go ahead and wait, and I'll be happy to sell you the bags that I bought fucking 3 weeks ago. I'll be happy to sell them to you at the top of that move when the news comes out. I mean, I guess at that rate, the only question is, how long do you have to wait for the news to actually come to the surface before, like, how long do you have to wait for the news to, one, come out, and then two, people to react to it? But I mean, if it comes out, then it's like you should probably already be like, if you went long and it's bullish news, and the news comes out, you probably should be well into the profit already, so you shouldn't have a problem taking profit, like, just as soon as the news hits. But some people like to wait to see, like, the first, like, knee-jerk reaction, the first 15-20 minutes or whatever, you know what I mean? This is just like a freaking, it's not like straight up, but these candles are just like, most of them are green. There's not really any red ones, and the ones that are red are not big.
That's the type of recovery you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like, if you've gone long here, like, that's cool to get this kind of move. But at the same time, I feel like because you're not building any consolidation on the way up, then if it does decide to fall, there's nothing holding it up. Like, it'll just melt right through this whole price action because there was no, like, levels of consolidation to sort of rest on. Like, when you don't see any when other traders, when they don't see any consolidation, it's like, okay, well, where's my target? I guess the previous low. You know what I mean? So they're not willing to step in until it is hit or exceeded the previous low.
Yeah.
But then you got other people that's like, oh, it's going up, it's green, the candles are green, I'd better buy now, and they FOMO in, like, before it's too late, which is like, that works for some people, but I tend not to do that. I try not to make a habit of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab something. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
All right, cool. Yeah, I gotta go do something. I'll leave the stream up for now, but if you have a TA, or you wanna
I'm good.
talk to anybody or say anything else, then I'll jump on your screen. But
yeah, I'll be right back.
all right, cool, man. Me too. Alright, I'm back. Don't know if anybody missed me, but I'm back. Yeah, so I guess we're just kind of continuing with this little V-shaped recovery here going on. I mean, what else can you really do? You get, if I just go back to the indicator itself and turn on the dead bodies, you'll see that we really kind of swept most of what we needed to sweep. We swept it up with one of them brooms that has the rubber edge in the bottom of it. So yeah, I mean, as far as a 15-minute goes, it looked like every time someone tried to go long on a consolidation, it just got ate through, and then they tried to go long on the next one, and it got ate through. They got trying, and then finally, yeah, just like this one big sweep, where it looked like they were for the most part leaving alone like the 50x and the 25x, but on this drop they were like, okay, we've got enough 100. It looks like they were farming down here, so they were sort of farming long liquidity in these areas, and then once they got enough, they were just like, bam, now we have enough juice. They said now we got enough juice to actually break this level and go through. And I guess, I mean, it did really, like I was trying to say earlier tonight, like there really was a case to be made for it to bounce in this area, just because it's the top of this whole consolidation zone, and also matched up with the 618 and the, like, you know, pretty well. Like, I mean, the 0.5, yeah, I would think that a lot of people tried to go long there, but that's probably what added enough liquidity to just snatch up the longs on the 50x anyway. But I mean, yeah, at the top of this whole consolidation, I was kind of eyeing that level, and that's just right about like where it got to, more or less. So it made sense for it to catch a bid there. As far as like the V-shaped recovery, I don't really know how much longer that's going to continue, but we shall see. I think that BitBuy just posted something in the chat. I guess we can check that out. Maybe it's in here. Hold on, let me just check to make sure it's not private. Come on, work, damn it. It just looks like a chart. Let's go check out what he's looking at. EU Brinks.
Look at me.
It's sort of kind of wicked off that level that he was looking at here. All these sharp wicks coming down. Look like they kind of met that common point there at around 90,650. And it looks like we got a wick right off of it. So, and then I think he's trying to point out that there's a vector gap here, order block or something, that maybe got left behind. So maybe he's looking for a bit of a retracement back here, 90,003 or something. But I don't know if he's come back yet or not. But if he does, then maybe he can explain that a little further. We just kind of got started back up again, guys. So, I mean, there's a lot that's sort of missing from, you know, there's big gaps in the TA. But, I mean, here I was bearish. Don't know what else to say other than this looks pretty bearish. Looking at, where did I say? Okay, I would say that what's, looking at the chart at the moment, what I would say stands out the most to me is the volume profile. If we lose that volume shelf at around 86,800, it could open the door to a significant price drop in a very short amount of time. There are some that believe we essentially have to sweep that low of 74K in order to bring in enough demand to lead us to higher prices. So, I mean, that whole part never happened because we never lost that high volume node at 86,800. Every single time we hit it, we kept going. We kept bouncing from it. I mean, you can kind of see on the chart if I do. Oh, we are retracing from that level. Exactly. He like hit that top of that wick right there perfectly. And now look, we're retracing a bit. So that might have been one of his take profits. So I hope that, if so, I hope it filled for him. I'm not sure what we're going to do about all this mess. Hopefully it's not too powerful in the higher time frames. And we can sort of try to stand our ground a little bit. If not, if we do end up putting in like a higher low, I'm just going to draw a macro fib here. If we do end up putting in a higher low, you know, maybe we stay above 90,000. I feel like I should put my volume profile on the other side. How do I do that? Placement right. Okay, left. All right. So that's cool. Oh yeah, I wanted to point out the volume shelf anyway there. So I'll just put it back over there for now, on the right side, just so I can point out what I mean. Say on the daily, if you kind of look at this area here, the area I was talking about, 86.8, there was this high volume node here that kind of stood out to me, and it was also sort of the point of control. There's a lot of lines on the chart now, so it's kind of a bit more difficult to see, but yeah, this whole area in here, like there was I'm not sure exactly what time frame it was on. I think I was looking at the daily. Yeah, this is a daily chart. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, moral of the story is we saw consolidation at that level. You know, 86.8, not a single candle body closed beneath that level. 86.8. Let's put it here. Not a single daily candle body closed below this level. So, and in fact, we started putting in, you know, we had this one stab lower, but it was just a wick. Ended up turning into like a hammer doji type situation. Next time we visited it, we put in a higher low. Again with the higher lows. And then, you know, we were making lower highs to begin with, but then continue with another higher low. I forget exactly what this was all about here. I think it might have had something to do with Venezuela or something like that. Was around this time, but we started pumping, and then we broke out of this range and essentially sort of jumped the creek on this range. So we were in this range for a while, and when we busted out of it, we essentially jumped the creek and pushed up. So I would expect a normal reaction being on a retest, you know, coming down to that level again. I would expect some sort of a bounce off of that level, and I mean, we've gotten it so far. Like on the smaller time frames, it has bounced. I guess maybe some of these lines I should delete. This one only goes back so far. But I also don't want to lose all my points of reference. Still kind of working on that one. This one hasn't really been invalidated, so I guess I'll leave that. It does look rather messy, but I mean, I kind of... If I take it off, then there's going to be something that I miss, and I'm going to hate myself for it. Probably get rid of this. Just clean things up a little bit, I guess. This, I think... What the hell is that? Is that a fib? Let me see where that comes from. Yep, that's the one we're working with right now, I believe. Yeah. So I can leave that. This one, I'll just make this smaller. probably irrelevant. And I guess I'll leave everything else for now. I don't think I really need to. I really think there's too much more I can delete. Maybe this. Don't know what the hell that is. I try to keep my chart as clean as possible because it's just easier to see stuff. Like, I mean, I usually, like, when I started charting, I used to just leave absolutely everything I ever drew on the chart. I would just leave it there for eternity, and like as if like I actually needed it for some reason, but I really didn't. So I would often let my chart get really cluttered, and then that just makes it easier to read, and you get in that whole analysis paralysis type deal. Or like, you know, if I'm gonna be showing people stuff on my chart, then I feel like they ought to be able to see my chart.
Yeah, mine's a mess, dude. I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's like I know what I'm looking at, like, so I can read my chart fine, but if I'm trying to show somebody something else, like if I'm trying to show somebody something on my chart, it's like almost impossible for them. It's like if you can't even see the candles, then like, you know, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to see what you're seeing. So I try to keep it tidy, like, you know, as tidy as possible.
Exactly.
So yeah, we ticked that freaking target we were talking about.
I told you it was gonna go right back there, and then it's gonna reject down.
So what's the play for me? Did you close your whole position or just part of it?
Oh, I closed it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why I dropped it in the chat.
Yeah, see, I haven't even...
To the fucking dollar.
Yeah, man. Like, to the pixel, bro. That.
I do this all the time, bro.
Yeah, I can tell. What I was thinking... Like, so, I was thinking about it, and, like, ever since you joined, I was like, we really kind of, I think, what we need to make this place and the channel more successful is, like, more... we need more like professional grade traders. You know what I mean? We only have a few, so to like really keep the direction going. Yeah, and that'd be great. Whoever you want to bring in, that's awesome. But I feel like the direction would be like much more focused, and we would all gain a lot more. Like if we just had like more, like, you know, professional grade traders, because you know there tends to be people that just trade as a hobby or trade casually, or like, you know, maybe they're addicted to trading or something. I don't know, whatever it may be.
This is a full-time gig for me for the past 14 years.
Yeah. So I mean, your definition of professional. So I mean, it's like we just need more people like you, and like, you know, the people that do it casually or as a hobby or as a part-time, you know, extra source of income. I mean, they can all benefit like immensely too, but I feel like there will be like in terms of success, like we'll have like a much greater rate of success if we just get more, you know, sort of professional traders in here. It's it's arguable that I do it professionally too. I was a full-time trader for a little more than a year, and I just kind of, after that year, I was like, you know what, I don't know if this is for me, like at least not right now. Like I was like, I don't know if I can just do this full time. Like I still swing trade and I still scalp, like when I'm available, when I'm not doing anything available, I still scalp and everything, but like full-time trader, like for me, like I was like, it's like there's really like so much stress involved in this, and some days you gotta wait all day for an entry that never comes, and then you feel like you wasted the day, or either that, or you sort of force your way into entries that don't really make sense, and when you do that, you end up taking bad trades, and even if you use good risk management, you end up losing a lot of trades in a row, and then you feel like, well shit, like I kind of just spent all day sitting here just like not even making any money. Like I spent all day sitting here losing money. Like what the hell am I doing? So since there was like enough days like that, like it to offset my gains, like, you know, maybe even though it wasn't severely, it was just like, okay, like the all the nights where I missed so much sleep, or like didn't get any sleep, and like, or like all the events that I wanted to go to that I was like, I can't, I'm trading, like I'm in the middle of a trade, like with like all the parties and stuff that I missed, I was just like, I don't know if I can like do this actually like sit. But I mean, they do say like, you know, if you're really good enough at trading, like you should be able to just use good risk management and then walk away from the trade and do whatever you want to do. Which is like that's
Oh,
kind of what I've been doing since I stopped trading full time. When I was trading full time, it was like I have to be in a trade all the time, and
yeah,
then
no,
like
that's what it does.
if I wasn't in a like if I wasn't in a trade, I was like looking for a way to get into a trade, and then if I was in a trade, like I was automatic like I was committed to like watching the progression of that trade, whether
You
it was a
were
winner or a loser.
you were gambling.
Yeah, I mean that too. There was like the quick in and out, like the high frequency trading didn't really work too much for me because I was like, you know,
Yeah,
I'm taking way
gambling.
too many risks.
Gambling.
Yeah, it's like just like you know the like even with good risk management, if you take too many risks and the entries don't make too much logical sense, you'll end up with shitty entries and you'll lose a lot, and then you'll feel like you wasted time and money, like you know just being an idiot, like basically gambling. Yeah, you do. You gotta
Thanks,
give them
Stu.
that hawk too. But yeah, basically gambling. Yeah, when you're, it's like you know, I felt like okay, I just lost X amount of money today, and like you know, didn't really have any fun. It kind of reminds me of those times where I go to the casino, and I put X amount of money into the machines. Like I go there with a certain amount of money. I'm like, and I just put it all in the machines, and I come out and like I don't even have a ticket to cash in. I'm just like, oh, I would just wasted all that money. You know, and it is kind of like there's something exciting and like there's a fun aspect to it, but that like you know is dopamine pumping when you see all the flashing lights and stuff, and it's like you're out with friends and you're having fun and like you know people are drinking and
Yeah.
stuff, whatever. But it's like to some degree you're kind of just going out to waste money, but you kind of have like it like I mean at least if you're smart about it, you have it in the back of your head like okay, this is how much money I'm going with, so I'm prepared to lose exactly this amount of money. And
Yeah.
if I come out at the end of the night and I'm up, great. But if I lost it all, it's like I was prepared to lose it anyway. I just spent money trying to have a good time, you know.
Right. Well, I'm gonna take off for the night, buddy.
All right,
I
brother.
made my
Well,
I made my money for the day.
there you go. That's how it's done, bro. Well,
All right.
I'm
I'll
still.
catch you tomorrow. I'll be up all day trading tomorrow too.
All right, bro. Sounds good. I'm probably gonna cut the stream pretty soon because I actually gotta get some sleep too. I'm just waiting to see if we try to put in a higher low here or not. But I'm probably not far behind you when it comes to going to sleep. So,
All right. Have a good night.
all right, you too, brother. See you tomorrow. I'm honestly not even sure how long the stream's been going. Oh, we've already been on for almost 2 hours. Yeah, so I'll probably cut it in like 5-10 minutes. I'll probably cut the stream off, but thanks for everyone that showed up. Probably not too many people for this one, but it was 3 a.m. when we started this, or almost 3 a.m., so I wouldn't expect too many people from this side of the planet to be on right now. But, I don't know, just in case there was anyone in a different time zone or a different country or whatever, you know, that might be up and available to watch the chat that wanted, like, some live minute-to-minute TA. So we are retracing, and like he was saying, he took some profit there, or he closed his position. He went long with me down here. He closed his position up here. So I'm still in mine. I'm just waiting to see if we put in a higher low here or not. Because if we do, I'll probably hold it. This area right here is actually a little bit eye-catching. It's right at the 0.5, so we get to find out if they're gonna try to go and sweep all these liquidations or not. If they do, I will either have the chance to add to my position or just close it as a loser. Or, I mean, I could take some I'm in the profit now, so I could just move my stop loss into the profit and then try to reposition. But I want to give it a little bit of a chance just in case it grows some balls. If it does lose this level, though, then I'll probably more seriously consider closing it, because if that wasn't the bounce, then good probability that we're going to head down a little further. But the good thing I see is that if you look up here, this is exactly what I was talking about a few minutes ago, where, you know, there's going to be people shorting. If the people, even if we reject here, there's going to be more people shorting here, and then when the liquidations start to build up here, we end up putting in a higher low, there's more liquidations here. It gives us more gas to actually push for the breakout. I'd like to see some getting closer to this level, and then more of them stacking up inside, underneath this trend line. But we shall see. I'll give it about another 10 minutes or so. See if there's any new developments, and then I might just cut the stream and go to bed, but I'll try to plot out some targets before I do that, in case I end up deciding to hang on to my trade. So I guess firstly, I should oh, Doge went down 5%. What is this? Is it gonna have the strength to hold up here? Sometimes the worst part about trading is just having to have the patience to see what kind of confirmation you get at these levels. Even if it's only on the 5-minute. But I guess as long as we don't take back this whole candle, then it should be good. I wish it was a little bit more enthusiastic about holding, but hey, what can you do? I mean, I figured at least until it gets up to this sort of either the 50 EMA here or this trend line. I figured it at least had a pretty decent shot of doing one of those two things. But yeah, also, I mean, this is like what I was saying earlier, was when you just have these big sharp moves coming up like this, you're not building any consolidation out. So there's really not like if there was like a, you know, heaps of consolidation right here and then it continued up, like I would feel safer about holding the position. But as it stands now there's like long liquidations down here. You know, maybe it does like a double bottom or something, but we'll see. I'll probably be either out of my trade or asleep by then. Or, like, you know, if it decides to do it quick, then that would be cool too, but what I might do is I might just move my stop loss up, like underneath this candle. That way I lock in the profits that I do have. I wouldn't really be able to let the trade breathe, but which is what I usually like to do. Like, usually when I catch something I think is a good entry. The reason I think it was a good entry is because we did have this stopping volume candle, the 15. And we had just swept a bunch of liquidations, and I think the ones that have built up since then, I don't know if there's quite enough of them. And I'm sort of counting on people to take profits on their long positions before they get liquidated, because then these will disappear. But I think maybe what could be happening instead is that people are taking profits on their shorts. Or they're still working on they're still working on farming short liquidity. That could be an option as well. Well, looks like it's giving it the old college try. Do we have hope? See, we did get this. Well, right after he sold his position there, we did get this 513 cross and then the 13 cross to 50. So we kind of lost bullish momentum on the 1 minute, but let's see if that's the case. Yeah, we never actually gained bullish momentum on the 5 minute. So This is sort of what I was talking about, how you would want to see this 13 cross above the 50 in order to confirm bullish momentum on the 5-minute. But my criteria for entry was already there, so like my methodology said to put on the trade, so I put on the trade. But yeah, that confirmation is kind of what you want to look for, that 13 crossing the 50. At least for this specific strategy, that would signify bullish momentum, which we never even really got it on the 5-minute. We did get it on the 1-minute and then lost it. You know, you can see here we got it here. So even if you were to, let's say theoretically, open a position right here, so this is when it crossed, you get one green candle above it. So let's say you open a position here, and then it crossed here, one closed below it, so you could technically close it here. I mean, that's not really, like, if you're going off of just that momentum strategy, you know, on the 1-minute, you know, it's really probably not going to be too effective, because your gain is going to be 0.17%. So unless you're using massive leverage, like, it's probably a pretty negligible gain. I mean, really, no gain is negligible, because you know, whatever you got to do to get your whatever you got to do to as long as your account is increasing in value, that's all you need to do, is just continue to make sure that your account is increasing in value rather than decreasing. And I mean, $149, $150, whatever, move up, which even if you had sold up here, you know, even that was 0.5% move. But I'm just saying, well, over the 1-minute momentum strategy, which tends to have more fake outs than the 5-minute, you know, $140, $150. If you traded a whole Bitcoin, you just made $150, like, just using that strategy on the 1-minute, which, you know, it sounds silly because it's like, oh, if I have enough to trade with a whole Bitcoin, $150 is nothing. But I mean, the layups count. Like, you know, don't belittle the trade that you made, especially if it was a successful trade. Like, you know, don't devalue the time and effort that you put in and the discipline that you displayed by sticking to your risk management. You know, a winning trade is a winning trade. It doesn't matter if you make, you know, $5,000 or if you make 5 cents. Winning trade is a winning trade, and as long as you stuck to your plan and you practice good risk management, then and the trade's a winner. Like, the whole thing about the trade's a success. The dollar value doesn't matter. I mean, what matters more than dollar amount is percentage gains. Percentage gains do matter, because, like, if you get, you know, high percentage gains off of, you know, maybe you use a lot of leverage, it's easy to get high percentage gains. So you could use a smaller amount of money to get, like, you know, a bigger reward. But I mean, if like, you really only you can like stack up a lot of money really pretty easy, even if you're just, so if your goal is, I want to make 1% per day, like, you take your whole portfolio, you say, I want to make 1% of that every day, that's my goal, and you just trade enough to make 1% of your net worth, and your net worth increases by 1% every day, you're going to have a substantial amount. Like, you know, you're going to have 3 or 4x your portfolio by the end of the year. You know, you also got to have a threshold where you're like, okay, I'm willing to lose this much. And honestly, that should be half of what your goal is. Like, should be your threshold of how much you lose. So if you're trying to make 1% per day, then your maximum risk should really only be 0.5% per day. So if you see, like, the net value of your portfolio going down by 0.5%, then you say, all right, well, I tried, like, I'm just gonna, you know, throw in the towel for the day. You know, I'm just gonna call it. And I mean, you know, sometimes you gotta have the discipline to just walk away from the screen, and that's what me and BitBuy were talking about earlier. You know, sometimes you just gotta have discipline. Or I don't know if it was me and him or me and Lord were talking about that earlier, and it takes a lot of discipline. Or oh yeah, I remember what BitBuy, he was mentioning psychology, and I was saying that that psychology is the most important thing to know about trading, or it's the hardest part of trading. The hardest part of trading to master is psychology, and I don't know if like you can never really truly master. As long as you have emotions, you're probably going to be emotional about your money and whatever. Like to some slight degree, like you're probably going to have a little bit of emotions while trading, unless you're a complete and total sociopath. Which, honestly, someone that like doesn't have emotions or doesn't like if they just tend to completely lack emotions, like you know if they have no emotions whatsoever, they will make the best traders in the world because if they apply themselves, if they're smart and they apply themselves to trading, but they have no emotions, those guys make the best trades in the world because they're just working purely off of logic. They're not letting emotion sway their decision making at all when it comes to trading, but you really have to be on point with making sure that you're not making decisions emotionally. That's part of the psychological part of trading where you have to do your best to try to master that, separate the emotion from the logic, and just trade off of the logic. Like, if it does this, I'm doing this. If it does that, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You know? It's if then statements. If it does this, then I do this. If it does that, then I do that instead. And I have a plan for each scenario and just have enough discipline to stick to it. It's easy to have a plan, but executing the plan is the hard part. Sticking to the plan is the hard part. Consistently sticking to the plan and making a habit of it, regardless of how you feel about something, you have to have the discipline to stick to your methodology, because that's what will make you successful in trading. Like not gambling like BitBuy was saying, and not like not trading off emotions. It's just really being as logical as you can. So, having said that, looks like we did have a reaction off this level. Like I was kind of expecting a reaction off of this level. I I hope that was a higher low. I would like to see us gain some more bullish momentum on the 1 minute here. If we can get this bullish momentum back up and get the 13 back above the 50, that would be great. Because chances are, if we come and retest this again, I think it's increased probability that we drop through it. And then my trade would kind of be in danger, and I might have to cut it a little earlier than I wanted to, but we'll see. I mean, I guess I could wake up in the morning, it could be way up, but regardless, before I go to sleep, I'm going to set some take profit areas, but for the most part, it's kind of starting to look like it's shaping up a bit. Since I'm long and I have that bias, I would like to see it hold up here instead of sweep these liquidations, because if it holds this higher low and it goes and puts in a higher high and attacks this trend line, then I think there's a good chance after revisiting it for however many times. I think we've hit it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. I mean, if you count out this one, then it's really 1, 2, 3 times that it's hit. So this will be the 4th time that it hits it. And generally speaking, this is not always the way it works. Generally speaking, you hit a trend line or a level of support resistance 4 times or more, and say it's hit this trend line 4 times, comes up to hit it a 5th time, and it puts in a higher low, there's an extremely high probability that it's eventually going to end up breaking that trend line. And also vice versa, if it hits a support 4 or 5 times and it puts in a lower high, I'm not sure, let me see if I can find a good example of that. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be able to do it on the 1 hour. I mean, maybe on the 5 minute. don't know if I have any real immediate examples because the price has really kind of just been more or less going up recently. So let me see if I can find a downtrend where that happened. I mean, okay, so this is kind of like, you got above this line, this yellow line here, tested it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then it put in a lower high, and you tested it for the 6th time, it dropped through it, and then it started to turn it into resistance. So I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get across there with you test the same area 5 times and it doesn't do something significant on the 4th or 5th time. You put in a lower high here, and what were the results? It eventually fell through it, turned it into resistance, and then you kind of had to just go seek out your next level of support. Here, test this 1, 2, 3, 5. Let's just count that as 3, 4. And you bounce off of it. You put in a higher high here. 5, another higher high. I mean, it looked like it was starting to get legs, but it ended up just coming to retest it again, and this ended up being the bottom of a pretty painful range anyway. But we got through it. But yeah, just probabilities of it's not like a it's not like there's never a certainty. Like there's no certainties in trading. You're not gonna find a certainty. I mean, unless you're a huge whale that is able to influence the price to do what you want it to do. You can still just influence it, right? It's not really like a sure thing. But if you're a huge whale and you can influence the price to do things, then yeah, I guess it's much closer to a sure thing. But if you're more or less just average regular trader, using average size, on your trades, then chances are your buys and sells are not gonna move the market. You kind of just most average traders are kind of just a drop in the bucket. So you're just kind of trying to ride the same wave that these whales and stuff that they set up. They make the big splash and they cause the waves to happen, but we just ride the waves. So you're kind of at mercy to that as well. I mean, do I know some whales? Yes, I do. Would I consider myself one? No. No, I'm just, closer to typical size. When it comes to, certainly when it comes to trading, if I'm in my perpetuals futures account, it's probably going to be around the same size as most of my colleagues. If I ever try to trade professionally or trade for a living or trade full time again, then, maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. I'll start using larger size again. But it was really stressful when I was doing that because just trying to force myself to make bigger gains on smaller time frames. It never works. But that was something that I had to figure out. That was part of my own psychology that I had to tackle and address. And I had some bad habits that I needed to change. Bad habits take a long time to change. So if you're just getting started trading now, don't see it as, oh, I wish I started earlier. See it as, I just started this, so I have the opportunity to build the good habits, good trading habits that I need to be successful before learning the bad ones. Before learning bad habits and reinforcing bad habits, getting to learn good trading habits early on in the game. That's the most powerful thing that you can do. It's much more difficult to develop bad trading habits and then try to doing that and solidifying that, especially if it's over the course of a year or two, and then trying to change it after that. It gets extremely difficult. Even if you make an effort to try, you still have to sort of break the bad habit. And the only way to really do that successfully is to replace it with a good habit. So you spend a year building bad habits, but then you have to spend a whole nother year Like, not only trying to rectify the mistakes and the bad habits that you formed, but you have to spend like a year building good habits, like good trading habits, in order to replace those bad ones. Because you can't ever really delete a bad habit. It has to be replaced by a good habit. That's your best chance of getting rid of it, is to replace the bad habit with another good habit. You know, so like, I mean, just for an example, it's like if you like thinking about something unhealthy versus something healthy. If you're a smoker, or you're trying to quit smoking or whatever, you think it's a bad habit. Well, every time, and once you make the conscious decision, I'm going to quit, and you do everything you can to be disciplined and stick to that, you say, I'm gonna quit and I'm not gonna smoke again. Like, I'm gonna build the willpower that it takes to resist smoking. Well, if you can replace the bad habit itself is smoking. If you can replace that with something else that's healthy, like you say, oh, every time that I feel like I want to smoke a cigarette, I'm just going to do 20 push-ups instead. And you're doing something good for your body. Like, it might not be fun, like, especially not at first, especially if you're not athletic or whatever, but if you start doing push-ups every time that you want to smoke a cigarette, you'll start to see that eventually you start to care less about the cigarette, and you'll also be getting in shape at the same time. Like, eventually you'll notice, oh, hey, I'm getting in more shape, or I'm getting stronger, or whatever. So you effectively replaced a bad habit with a good habit. You know, the only thing that you kind of can't do is like try to mix them together. So if you are like, okay, I really want a cigarette, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go smoke a cigarette and then I'm going to do 20 push-ups. Like, you're adding another good habit, but you're not really replacing the old one that you were trying to break. So it's good to just, like, you know, willpower is a whole nother, goes into a whole nother realm of, I can get into that again. Like, I can get into that deeper sometime on another video or something. But willpower goes into habits a lot, and just making sure that you stick to your habits. You got to have that willpower behind you. And, you know, if you say next time, you say, I'm not going to smoke a cigarette, I'm going to do 20 push-ups instead, and then I'm going to forget about the cigarette. If you just stick to that, you do that for like 30 days in a row, you've long quit cigarettes by that point. Ooh, got a bad candle down here. It looked like it was going to try to break that 50 EMA, but unsuccessful. Let's see, maybe this is just some market maker games going on where they're trying to scoop some positions, but it might recover almost immediately. Who knows? But I am definitely, this stream has definitely been going on long enough, I think. I already went 20 minutes past when I said I was going to close it. Or when I was going to end the stream. I already went 20 minutes longer after that. So chances are, if it doesn't end up holding this level, like, chances are I'm probably just going to close the trade instead of going to sleep. Or, like I said, you know, maybe I'll just move my stop loss up to this area, because if it does lose this level, I've got a good feeling it's going to try to come sweep these, and there's just really no point in giving up the gains. But let's check the 5-minute. I don't think we ever got bullish momentum back on the 5-minute either. Nope, we never really got it back. See, what I would really need for this trade to be successful is I would need this red one to cross up here. We'd have to go fill in this vector gap, and that would probably cause these two to cross. We get the bullish momentum, we go take these liquidations, come back, retest the higher, retest with the higher low, and then break for the Break for the try to break that trend line. But I'll take it as it comes. You know, I don't want to be giving up any gains, and it just it didn't do. You know, in essence, it didn't do what I thought it was gonna do. So, in many ways, the trade is over. I still like to be a little bit more lenient with my stop losses. I like to give them the trade a little bit of room to breathe, but if you're like a high frequency scalper, you probably would have wanted to try to get out, you know, when it tested the 50. If you're like a really very short term scalper, you probably would have wanted to try to get out there. Or, I mean, this pop above it. I didn't think it was really going to hold because there was no consolidation on the way up, but I don't know. Maybe if it does hold this level here, there is a possibility that we can go to we can build the consolidation that we need here to make sure that we don't lose support. And we go up, it'll give us some room to work with there. But I'm not here for ifs or maybes, you know. Maybe it just didn't spend quite enough time below 90K. Let's see if some buyers show up at that even round number of 90K. Not that it really matters, because like I said, more or less the trade's over. I can always reposition. Kind of just want to see if it has the strength to hold any of these levels, to hold a higher low during the UK session, because we have been getting some pretty good pumps up until 10
Look at me.
a.m. New York time, which is still more than 5.5 hours away. So if there is going to be a big pump, like by 10 a.m., you know, because look, it's only, well, it's almost 4:30 a.m. So it'll be 5.5 hours from now. Like, let's just say 5 hours is market open, and then, you know, another half hour, I'd expect some sort of top to be coming in there, at least some sort of high point. Maybe not a top, but like some sort of high point, because a lot of volume shows up at around that time, and then it leaves very shortly after that time. Kind of just the way that the market works, the way it's been working recently, I've noticed. So we shall see. I'm going to give this about 5 more minutes, and then I'm definitely going to cut the stream because I'm getting real tired. Now here, oh, I never really put up any price targets, but I'm not really sure that we're gonna reverse just yet. I put that there, and then if this ends up being a W, and we end end up putting in a higher low here, which this is something I might go before I go to sleep. I might go see if D Block is still online and see if I can ask him what he thinks of it. But this is what D Block likes to draw, a W pattern. If it puts in a higher low, I mean the higher low could be, you know, all the way down here for all I know. Like if it ends up being a higher low, then that's how the W forms, the George W. Take a move here up to that line. You get sort of your measure and move like that. And I mean, conveniently look at where the liquidations are on the 5 minute. And it might be hard to see on the screen, but if you zoom in, this little purple line there, that's the 800 EMA on the 5 minute. So it kind of makes sense. So see, the thing with that is, if this does end up forming a W, and it does end up breaking, it does end up holding above this level, breaking out, and it gives you the whole measured move for the price target, which would be here. Somewhere around there. Then you're above this trend line. Like, you've actually broken this trend line. And I mean, I don't know if it's going to turn into a situation like this where it does go to try to go for the W and then it just drops lower. I mean, there were plenty of times here where it came down, put in a lower, like, you know, double top, lower high. And then, you know, you were thinking, oh, high or low here, and then it just dropped right through. So, I mean, this is why risk management's important, but perhaps we just kind of stay range bound down here for a little while. I might look to reposition here somewhere, but I also do feel like I need to get some sleep at the same time. So that way I can at least be up for market open. Let's see if there's any action. But I kind of would like to be in on the action before the action actually happens. Now, like I was saying, this here, so let's look on the 15 minute. See where we're at with like liquidations. So we've got a few liquidations here underneath the trend line, but above the price. They're starting to show up. And if more people jump into shorts thinking it's going to go down, then more will show up here. But we also do have a few stacked up here. It's just not quite as many. Or not nearly as many, I would say, honestly. Because if we zoom out, if you get a move like this, you break out of this trend line, you get that measured move. I mean, I guess it'd be appropriate to do it from the first time. I would think that we would sweep all this liquidity here. So we come up here, break through, measured move. That would be like the 200 EMA on the 15 minute. So that would be like 91.8, I guess. $91.7, $91.8 area matches up with that first target pretty well. If we come back for a retest, you know, maybe we test some of these previous tops and should test that trend line again, and then maybe we can continue up to this other 93.7 or 93.8 area. And that should clear out most of the high leverage liquidations. I feel like it would probably push a little higher than that, but yeah, then maybe we get a swing fail out of it. So 6. So I would be expecting, if it's going to do something like that, I'd be expecting it to happen by this time. So maybe it just takes a while for it to actually pull it off. Or, I mean, I could, if nobody in the UK wants to show up and actually buy this thing and they just keep selling, then it's, you know, we've got a path downwards too. And like, I mean, I guess the next logical spot, if we were to lose the level that we just made and close below it, like basically this line 89.4-ish, we lose that, then probably the next target would be 87.8, or 87.7, let's say. 87.7 area is the next area that really makes any sense to me, because that's the point of control of this whole range, and it's also this lower trend line. So that's what I would put out there as a lower price target. 87.8, around there. But having said that, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream. Thank you to everyone who ended up showing up, and I'll try to make a habit of going live more often, especially if there's price action, immediate price action that's tradable or something that I can scope out on the short term that, you know, might help give some insight. And I will try to make it an effort to kind of go live more often, at least. I probably won't do it all the time. I'm going to be honest. I probably won't do it all the time. But I will probably try to do it more often. And, yeah, see how it goes from there. Probably try to keep it casual most of the time, too. Especially when going live. But my other video, I can save my being serious side of me for, you know, my other videos that I post later. Try to, the live stream events, I'll probably just try to keep more casual, unless we're actually doing like a seminar or something, which, you know, watch out for those. Like we'll have a few of those coming out pretty soon, so stay tuned for that, because we're going to be dropping some good stuff, and we're going to be really we're going to up our game around here. Let's just say that we're going to up our game. And we're going to be coming out with some good stuff, so stay tuned. If you get a chance, like the video. It'd probably really help out. Probably get some good traffic on here. So I would appreciate the like. And if you want to learn more about trading and just finance in general, let me know. Other times during the day, there's more people in the chat. It's like more high traffic, and you know, we've got more traders, so there's plenty of people that know what they're doing when it comes to trading and charting, doing an analysis and stuff. We got plenty of guys like that who would probably likely be willing to help share some of their knowledge as well. I have a Discord server. If you want to join that, then, you know, leave a message in the comments, and I'll try to even send you. I might even just post a link to the server in the video description. I don't know, but I do want to keep it kind of selective to some degree, because I want the people in there to be really serious about, you know, what's going on, like with trading. Like I want people to be serious about learning trading. So it might have a level of exclusivity to it. Not sure. Haven't really decided yet, but if you are interested in joining the server, let me know. If you want to learn about trading, if you're like a beginner and you want to learn about trading and how to do it, and then like I would definitely recommend joining. Or if you're already like a successful trader and you've got experience and, like, you know, you're really good and you think you have something that you can teach me, then by all means, please let me know, or leave something in the comments that, you know, alludes to, hey, you know, I'd like to join the server, or hey, at least it's like, hey, check this out, blah blah blah. You know, so if you think there's something that you could teach me, or, you know, help me to learn, then I welcome you to, you know, come in and talk to me, and that'd be great. I always love more company. you know, I try to keep a friendly environment as much as possible going with where I'm at. But yeah, anyway, like I said, like, subscribe to the channel if you want, you know, to see more updates as far as like more videos that I upload about TA and more, you know, live streams about like, you know, I'm going to start trying to do live technical analysis more often because I feel like that's helpful for people in the moment that just want to, like, you know, go on, especially beginners. They just want to go on and see like technical analysis and what other traders are seeing like happening in the price. So I think that part's helpful. So I'm going to work on that. But, you know, there's also some other people that have entered the community that, you know, they've got, you know, some other stuff going on. There's probably plenty of stuff that they can teach about business and whatever, but you know, these guys throw events and stuff that you know, I'd really like to be able to, you know, spread the word about. So I'll have more updates on that stuff later, but we've got some exciting stuff going on here, and I can't wait to show you guys how things emerge over the next few weeks and months. So I'm excited, and if you're excited too, make sure to hit the subscribe button, stay up to date with everything we're doing. But on that note, I am going to end the stream, so I hope you all have a good night. You know, trade safe, trade smart. Make sure that, you know, you use good risk management and all that. You know, have fun, like, you know, but, you know, stay focused. And don't force the trade. Trade the force.